Market news now. Shares in Asia rose as investors monitored Hong Kong-listed stocks of firms in regulation-hit sectors such as video games. Shares of Tencent in Hong Kong jumped 2%, while NetEase gained 3.1%. Gaming stocks had tumbled as the South China Morning Post reported that the Chinese government will suspend approvals for new online games in the country. After the market close, however, the media outlet corrected the report to instead say regulators will slow the approvals process. In Japan, the Nikkei rose 1.2%. Over in Europe, European markets were cautiously higher this morning, tracking global counterparts as sentiment rebounded following a rocky week. European investors continue to digest the European Central Bank's decision to slow down buying under its pandemic emergency. We're going to take a pause on that, and we're going to cross to Deputy President David Mabuza, who is addressing the media.
But generally, the minister is taking a very broader view of looking at the challenges of water in the entire country. So he's visiting other provinces, but in the main, I've taken his time out here just to focus on the sewer spillage into the VAAL River.
DP, thank you very much for joining us and affording us this time right now. DP, I've spoken to a couple of community members in this area who are worried about this concern of water that's been going on for quite some time. And this comes, in a period whereby the local government elections are actually coming up. And what we're seeing in the main domain is that the very same party that people are relying on, which has ward councillors where they're supposed to be facilitated, they're worried that the ANC doesn't have its house in order as well. As the Deputy President, can you take the country to confidence to say that what will be the next step of direction in terms of ensuring that community members receive proper, clean services, especially with the ANC in disarray right now?
Well, I don't know whether I agree with you when you say the ANC is in disarray. Well, we're going to prove ourselves. Yes, we have got problems, but the biggest problem that we're confronting is our municipalities. Bit dysfunctional, a lot of squabbles within municipalities because these are the services that they must provide to the people. Remember, municipalities are water authorities. Now, this time, the Minister of Water and Sanitation is intervening. But these municipalities are authorities. In their own right, they must deliver water, they must deliver sanitation. Now, by seeing us here, I'm pulling the Premier, the provincial government, I'm pulling the national government so that we go and assist in that space, because this has become a health hazard.
Sorry, Minister, maybe just the last question from me again. You were in the Northwest as well, and you're on a program of encouraging mass vaccination, and you're also, inspecting about water. We just wanted a quick reaction on what's currently happening in Lichtenburg, where we're seeing violent protests that have erupted. And once again, this is due to dissatisfactory services from government.
Yes, I think we're in a democratic space, and it's the right of citizens to voice their feelings. If they don't feel very good, this is the only right they have to demonstrate and call their leaders so that they can come and present their story. So it is a right of our people to demonstrate. But this, it's a challenge to all leaders. Now, if you see people protesting, it means they've gone too long with the problem. So they've got no other options. They're standing up, they're protesting. So what is important is that as leaders, we need to close this gap between us and the people, because we are here for the people. They don't need to protest, because we must be upfront. We must address their concerns because we know of them on a daily basis. We don't need to open this gap between us and the people.
Mr. DP, tell us, you've spoken about the problems that we have on the VAAL and the river system. You haven't spoken about solutions yet. What are the medium and long-term solutions to cleaning up the VAAL and keeping it that way?
Yeah, the problem here is just like in the Northern Cape. The municipality here has agreed, yes, we've got a problem. We're polluting the water. Sewer is spilling. So a problem, it's noted. The municipality in Kimberley, they've agreed. We went to the treatment plant. Yes, the sewer is spilling, and we know what is the reason. So we're going to quantify this. Some are very low-hanging fruit. In certain instances, that people have stolen some cables and all that, so the entire plant is not working, and it's causing major problem. So the best thing is to act quickly, find those cables, fix this plant, then treat the sewer. That will avoid the spillage.
But that same low-hanging fruits have not been done for a couple of years. So how how confident are you that it will be done now that you've been here?
Definitely. The minister has been screaming here, and I said, Minister, you must put some money here, because the municipalities have failed. And we can't allow people to live under this condition for a long time. And I've been also pulling the premise, put something here. We know it is the responsibility of the municipality, but the two of them, they can contribute in the resolution of the problem. In certain cases, it's not expensive. You fix that and that. These municipalities need to be supported, need to be assisted. Yes.
Sandy Vlog have local radio station from Tau.
Yes.
We usually get complaints from the community, especially from Pampilstad here in Kokwane municipality, in regards with the water shortage. Apparently, they get scheduled water. They will get water today, tomorrow there is no water, and there is no one to respond to that or to take accountability. Is that an issue of the municipality, or is it the issue with the CDB water? And there is also an issue of dry reservoir. When will there be a resolution for that?
You want to answer that?
Yes, I can answer that. I'm going to be straightforward with you. Firstly, we were in a meeting 2 weeks ago with the water board.
Well, those were visuals that you're seeing with David Mabuza, Deputy President David Mabuza addressing the media. We now continue with our markets coverage, and to talk to us about what is happening, we're joined by PATRICE, the Chief Investment Officer at ASHBUTON Investments. PATRICE, thank you so much for your time. Let's have a quick check-in on the JSE right now. How are we faring, given the fact that what is happening with the China tech stocks was affecting the markets yesterday?
Good afternoon, Nastasia, and to your listeners. Yesterday was a red day on the JSE, really driven down by a number of factors. The Chinese regulation of internet companies keeps rattling the markets, and obviously with Naspers and Prosus being more than a quarter of our market, that was these two shares were leading the downside. And also there were some concerns regarding the potential tapering of bond buying by the ECB yesterday. Today, markets are calmer, I would say, on a slightly better footing, led by the resources stocks. And also some of the stocks which did well yesterday, like Aspen, after receiving 2 unsolicited bids for its API business, holding on to its gains. So a little bit of a rebound, and also we saw this morning, as you mentioned, Tencent on a slightly stronger footing in Hong Kong this morning, and Naspers and Prosus in positive territory.
What do you make of South Africa's results season so far?
I think quite interesting. I think from the companies we cover, we see positive outcomes in terms of the numbers, with earnings revisions up, especially with regards to shares which are linked to the South African economy. So I think most of the market participants have seen positive outcomes from their results, because I think overall the market was a bit too pessimistic, or assuming that things wouldn't rebound as quickly as we expected, especially in the light of what we saw earlier in terms of the insurrections in KZN and Joburg. I think the numbers and the guidance that we're getting is that companies are getting back on an even keel a lot faster than was expected.
So we know that Fed Chair Jerome Powell's term will expire in February. Despite the split that's happening now with the Democrats, some saying that he should be focused on political priorities such as climate change, and others saying that he actually should have a second term. What would you say the market can applaud Fed Chair Powell for?
I think definitely there's a lot of credit to be given to the Fed in terms of what happened into the COVID crisis and how the type of action that we saw in terms of really flooding markets with liquidity to restore confidence and to be able to support a quick recovery. I think that the Fed really led the way there. And if you look at Fed Chair Powell's own stance, it's been quite relaxed in terms of weighing the risk in terms of inflation, trying to emphasize that the economy should get back to full employment or near full employment as quickly as possible. So that focus, that more balanced focus, reducing the Fed's a laser focus on inflation and wanting the economy to get back to full employment quickly, I think has helped the US economy get back on an even keel quicker than most participants expected. And I think that's going to be his legacy going forward.
Patrice, thank you so much for your time. That is Patrice RASSOU, who's the Chief Investment Officer at ASHBUTON Investments. Of course, we are going to be following on some of the themes that are playing out in the markets, one of which being the political tensions between the US and China, which may remain, as well as what is going to happen as the ECB continues to start its tapering purchases.